Hey there everyone, it's Misty here. Welcome back to the ScrapbookPal.com YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be making a fun Halloween themed card using the big Frights dies from Tim Holtz, and then the Spooky Friends stamps and dies from Sizzix, and then a stencil from Fawn. All right, friends, so I realize now that one distressed oxide is upside down. Good job, Misty. Good job. Okay, so we are creating a card for PinkWeen. So instead of Halloween, it's PinkWeen. And if you're like, Misty, I don't know what you're talking about, get on Instagram. Scrolling at night, like you do, I kept getting these people that decorate for Halloween using pink. I didn't even realize that was a thing. Of course, I haven't actually been in a store, like a home decor store, other than for like mirrors and like since before the pandemic. So I had no idea that this was a thing that people do. So yeah. And here I kind of swatched out all of the inks. I pulled the 4 distressed oxide. We have picked raspberry, not pickled. I always want to say pickled. Pink raspberry, picked raspberry, Kitsch Flamingo, worn lipstick, and spun sugar. I'm starting with spun sugar. So spun sugar is going to be the moon and the clouds. And then I'm going to bring in the and then I'm going to bring in worn lipstick to do the craters. And I really love this kind of monochromatic theme. So when this Tim Holtz release was assigned to me, I was like, oh, that would be so much fun. So that's how this card was born. I think I've mentioned to you guys before that I don't really sit down and make a sample. I just sit down and turn on the camera, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. This time it did. So for the background, I am starting with Kitsch Flamingo, and then I'm going to go around the edges with picked raspberry, because the picked raspberry is the darkest of these 4. And I ended up not using the Pink Fresh Studio, but any pinks that you have will work. What I love about the oxides, and I think a lot of people do, is that they're opaque. So you can go over top of it and it's not going to peek through underneath it. And you just can't do that sometimes with a lot of different inks. So I'm going to bring in a ton of different cardstock from my collection. I didn't realize I had like 8 pinks. So you see there, I brought in a little bit one that pulls more coral when it's with the rest of the pinks, but when it's off by itself, it's a bit more pink. So I ended up not using that one, although I do feel like it went with worn lipstick a little bit better, especially how it looks on spun sugar. So yeah. Now, one thing that I forgot to do, that if you've been following me forever, you're like, Misty, what? I know. I normally use adhesive sheets when I'm dealing with die cuts this teeny tiny. So you can see here, or you can see it especially when I share with you what it looks like once it comes out. Like one die, as you can see here, has everything that's meant to be for that character. So like Dracula, all of it is on one die, the ghost and the Grim Reaper, etc. So it makes it easier when you have adhesive sheets, and all you have to, it's double-sided adhesive sheets, and you just put cardstock down on one side and then you cut it out and you basically have a sticker, and it negates the need for, like, you don't have to use liquid glue, etc. And I don't have any, and I don't know why I didn't pick any up when I ordered this stuff from ScrapbookPal. I don't even know. But yeah, 101% recommend adhesive sheets. These dies are really, really fun, but they are teeny, teeny, tiny, tiny. And so yeah, that's the one thing that I didn't do that I wish I did. But you can see there that you can see the entirety of the Dracula and the ghost as well. Now, if I'd kept this a 5x7, I may have added the ghost as well, but there just wasn't enough room. And I really thought Dracula or the vampire, I guess it's not Dracula, but it's Dracula to me, and the Grim Reaper were funnier to me. The ghost is cute, but these two were the funniest to me. So yeah. And for the Grim Reaper, I don't know if you guys ever watched Family Guy, but there's the Grim Reaper that is the character on the show. And I could just imagine him complaining that his mom washed his uniform with red or whatever and him oh, goodness. Do you guys have those thoughts when you're crafting? I have a lot of things that go through my brain when I'm crafting. Normally, I'm listening to a podcast. I'm not a true crime person whatsoever, but the Murdaugh murders has sucked me in, and I listen to Cup of Justice and True Sunlight religiously every week. So, but yeah. Anywho, back to this. So you can see here, there's tons of little tiny baby pieces. They're so small. And you're going to want to use different colors to add dimension, etc. So that's what I did here. And you can see I'm adding liquid glue when I really should have used adhesive sheets, and that would have been a bit better. So you can see at the top of my screen, I initially did the word boo with that pink plaid paper. And the more I looked at it and the more I thought about it, I felt like the plaid was too busy. I was like, okay, this is the only pattern that I'm bringing in to the entirety of the card. And I just didn't love it. I thought the pink went really, really well. That's why I picked that piece of paper. But I just decided that I didn't feel like the paper, I felt like it was too busy. So here I'm just using some tweezers to put down, these are actually eyebrows. And then there's little pieces for eyes. I actually bring in some pearls that I had in my stash to make little eyeballs later down the road because they're tiny and I lost them twice. And I was like, okay, clearly this is a sign. Okay, so once I was ready, I went ahead and cut out the word eek out of some pink glitter paper. This is just from my stash. So was that piece of plaid. That's actually from MFT. I bought like 7 of all of their plaids. And I thought I would use that, but I ended up not doing that. But here is what the finished card is going to look like. Oh, I love it so very much. It's so cute. So cute. So I'm going to bring in a piece of white cardstock, cut it down to 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 11, scored it at 5 1/2. Added some adhesive to the back of this. And then I knew that I wanted some sparkle. You guys know I love glitter. And my Nuvo pen had run out of fluid. So I got a new one. I thought, oh, let me go ahead and just add this on the back because I had to get it started. And I was like, oh, we'll just do this for some sparkle in the back because I didn't want to use white and add stars. But I ended up going over several different parts of the characters with this Nuvo Shimmer pen. So a fun tip from me to you, you can add water to those pens once the fluid runs out, and you can use them to do shimmer watercolor. If you guys would be interested in seeing that one day down the road, just let me know. I don't mind sharing that technique with you because it's so pretty and you can just use ink to watercolor and it's glittery and it's perfect. So I'm adhering the word eek flat. Isn't that font so fun? I actually almost love it better than the boo, although I think I would have liked the boo if it didn't have the back on it. And then I'm using some small squares from Scrapbook Adhesive to pop up a Dracula and our little Grim Reaper. And once I get them adhered, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today, friends. I really do appreciate you. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You will find a link to all of the supplies that I used in the description box down below. Let me know what you think of this card. I would love to hear your take on PinkWeen. I hope you guys have a great weekend and we'll see you soon.